Chapter 16:14. Then he looked at Li Zuping and the two nascent soul cultivators who were closing in on him. The young man pushed Lan Feng away and slowly walked forward with a mocking smile. I want to see if you guys really have the guts to make a move against me. With that, he took off the mask on his face. Behind the mask, a somewhat feminine and handsome face appeared in front of everyone. The entire place was dead silent. Everyone's eyes widened as they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Lan Feng even exclaimed, "Your Highness!" The young man who took off the mask looked exactly like Lan Huahong. No, there were still some differences. This young man in blue had the same face as Lan Huahong, but his temperament was 100 times more noble than Lan Huahong's. There was a kind of innate aloofness in his every movement, but he didn't have that kind of domineering arrogance. On the other hand, Lan Huahong was staring at the young man with a twisted and ferocious expression. He didn't look like a prince of a country at all. Instead, he looked more like an extremely vicious fugitive. What the hell is going on? Even the Golden Corps guards were dumbfounded. How can there be two highnesses? In the end, which one was the real one? Lan Feng stared straight at the young man. After a long time, he said with a trembling voice, "Your Highness, are you really your Highness?" Hearing his question, the young man's straight back trembled, and a hint of tears appeared in his eyes. "Uncle, I almost couldn't see you again." Hearing the words, "Imperial Uncle," Lan Feng unconsciously burst into tears. During this period of time, he saw the strange behavior of Lan Huahong and felt a chill in his heart. However, only now did he know why his Highness had changed. Your Highness, what the hell is going on?" At this moment, he was completely convinced of which one was the real Highness. As soon as Lan Feng asked, he heard a shout. "Audacious madman, you dare to pretend to be the 11th Highness. I think you're tired of living." Li Zuping glared at the young man. "What are you guys waiting for? Hurry up and put this madman in an array." The Golden Corps cultivators looked at each other, but no one moved. Faced with a face that was exactly the same as the 11th prince's, perhaps even more noble, they did not dare to make a move. Lan Feng shielded the youth behind him. Who dares to make a move before the matter is fully investigated? Li Zuping. Lan Feng. What are you doing? Could it be that he had to protect the murderer? Was there anything unclear about the facts? There are some daring people who want to impersonate your Highness. Lan Huahong also came to his senses at this time. He looked at Li Zuping and the two nascent soul cultivators who were guarding him, and then looked at the embroidered clothes he was wearing and the coarse clothes of the youth. His panic slowly dissipated, and an arrogant expression appeared on his face again. Where did this lowly thing come from? How dare you impersonate me? Why don't you take a look at your impoverished appearance? Is it possible for a dignified prince of the Lan clan empire to dress like a ragged beggar like you? As he spoke, he glared at the Golden Corps cultivator beside him. What are you waiting for? Didn't you hear my order? Capture this madman who tried to impersonate Gu. Whoever dares to disobey, I'll chop off your head right now. Chapter 16:15. Animal Hong. Do you really think that you can become a prince of the Lan family empire just by wearing my clothes and changing my face? The blue-clothed youth sneered. Do you think you're worthy to be a prince of the Lan family empire? Hearing the 3 words, Animal Hong, Lan Huahong's face suddenly twitched, his eyes bursting with intense fear and murderous intent. A light flashed in Lan Feng's mind, and he suddenly remembered where he had heard the name Animal Hong. Isn't that one of His Highness's personal shadow guards? Because His Highness the 11th Highness is the only legitimate son of His Majesty the Emperor and Her Majesty the Empress, he can be regarded as the first in line of succession. Therefore, in addition to his trusted guards, he is also equipped with a few shadow guards who look extremely similar to His Highness, who can be sacrificed as substitutes. Those few shadow guards stand out from the 64 children. And those 64 people originally used the last character of His Highness as their surname, and were named after the 64 Fuxi trigrams. Hong Deshang was one of the children who stood out from the 60 children. Lan Feng pointed at Lan Huahong and exclaimed, "Your Animal Hong, one of His Highness's shadow guards. No wonder you can pretend to be His Highness." How dare you, Animal Hong? You've really eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. You actually dare to betray your master and steal his identity. Lan Hua Hong, or rather, Animal Hong, being pointed at and exposed of his true identity, suddenly panicked, and he could hardly control his expression. The veins on Li Zuping's forehead also jumped, and he knew that he couldn't delay any longer. What perverted mouth? What Animal Hong? What shadow guards? His Highness has always been with us. If he was replaced, how could we not know? Come, let's kill the assassin pretending to be His Highness. When we return to Ziyunjie, His Highness will definitely reward us handsomely. With that, the three nascent soul experts attacked again, attacking the blue-clothed youngster. Lan Feng hurriedly stopped them. His strength was far higher than the three, but facing the three nascent soul cultivators, he was somewhat at a disadvantage and couldn't cope. In particular, Li Zuping was extremely cunning. He didn't care that the two nascent soul cultivators might be seriously injured by Lan Feng, and directly rushed to the front of the blue-clothed youngster. Mu Yin quickly plucked the strings of her zither. She used Divine Hand's weave to protect the young man and Zither Sound Blade to attack Li Zuping. However, Li Zuping is an expert of the nascent soul stage after all, and Mayan's current cultivation level is much lower than his. This kind of attack and defense could be resisted for a while, but definitely not for long. Li Zuping's face revealed an ominous glint, his expression ferocious. I want to see how long that bitch can protect you. A loud bang rang out, and the fist that contained powerful spiritual energy smashed into the sound barrier. The protective barrier formed by Divine Hand weave trembled, and a cracking sound rang out. Mu Yan's complexion is pale, fine beads of sweat oozing from her forehead, but the movements of her hands plucking the zither strings are getting faster and faster. Mother! Xiaobao nervously grabs the hem of Mu Yan's clothes, his big eyes staring at her without blinking, full of worry. A few of the little radishes were already jumping up in anger. Daddy, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and help Brother Lan. That's right. Little Brother Lan was saved by us. If Little Brother Lan dies, I won't care about you anymore. Chapter 16:16. With the addition of 5 nascent soul cultivators, Li Zuping and the others could no longer gain the upper hand and could only retreat pathetically. Li Zuping's face twisted in anger. What are you doing? Are you trying to rebel? Nailan Qing took a step forward and snorted. How can we kill people before things are clear? If the real prince of the Lan Empire dies in our azure blue world, how can we bear the responsibility? Hall Master Li, I think we should properly distinguish the authenticity of these two princes. Murong Bai said faintly. Why is Hall Master Li in such a hurry to make a move? Those who know will think that you're trying to protect your master, but those who don't know might think that you're in a hurry to silence them. Li Zuping never thought that these 5 people would actually come out to mess things up. He was practically seething with anger and couldn't help but feel a trace of panic in his heart. What's there to distinguish? One is the prince who has always been by our side, and the other is a tramp who popped out of nowhere. Don't tell me that we have to investigate every random hooligan who pretends to be of royal blood in the future. Nailan Qing frowned, momentarily unable to refute. Lan Huahong gnashed his teeth. You bitches, how dare you disrespect me? When I return to the Purple Cloud world, I'll definitely have my imperial father exterminate all of you. Nailan Qing and the others' expressions became very ugly. They indeed couldn't afford to offend the princes of the Lan Empire. At this moment, the blue-clothed youth slowly said, What if I can prove that I am of the Lan Empire's bloodline? As soon as he finished speaking, he slowly undid his clothes and revealed his back. Immediately after, the spiritual energy in his body revolved, and a bright, white light gradually appeared on his shoulder. The white light flickered, becoming brighter and brighter, more and more dazzling, until people couldn't look straight at it. Finally, within the halo, a huge white beast slowly appeared. The huge beast figure was somewhat faint, but the horn on its head was red, abnormally distinct. Lan Feng immediately covered his mouth, tears welling up in his eyes. Your Highness, you are indeed my esteemed Highness. The Golden Core cultivators were also in a state of chaos, shouting one after another. Bay's Soul Pearl, it's the Bay's Soul Pearl. That is the symbol of the Lan Empire's bloodline. He is the true highness. The spectator stands were also in chaos. My God, so this is the Lan Empire's Soul Pearl, and the divine beast bays contained within it. That's the symbol of the most noble bloodline of the Lan clan empire. Haha, now there's no doubt as to who the real 11th prince is. On the Carefree team's side, Luo Yu's eyes widened when she saw this. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. He gently pressed his left hand on his chest. Yun Ruhin glanced at him, and a trace of worry flashed through her eyes. The blue-clothed youth slowly put on his clothes and looked at Hong Big Animal with disdain and arrogance. The 11th prince of the Lan family empire has the purest royal bloodline. When he was 6 years old, he had already activated his soul pearl. Since you said that you're the Lan Empire's 11th prince, then why don't you let everyone see your soul pearl? Chapter 16-17. Before Big Animal Hong could finish his roar, he suddenly screamed, clutched his neck, and fell to the ground. Then his body began to twitch violently. The young man's slender wrists began to become broad and rough. The face that was almost the same as that of the young man in blue gradually grew and became about 15 or 16 years old. What was even more shocking was that 2 words gradually appeared on his face. The left side of his face was written big, and the right side was written animal. Everyone's eyes were focused on his face. Feng Su and Murong Hao jumped over and pointed to the left and right side of his face. They read aloud, "This is big, and this is animal. Put together, it's Big Animal." Ha, so Brother Lan was right. You're called Big Animal Hong. Nailin Yin and Duan Zi nodded like adults. So the word on the right is pronounced animal. Yes, animal's animal. He put together, it's Big Animal. Big Animal Hong suddenly covered his face and screamed in panic. No, I'm not Big Animal Hong. I'm Lan Hua Hong, the most honorable 11th prince of the Lan family empire. I'm the 11th prince? Lan Hua Hong sneered. You're not the real prince of the Lan family empire. Of course, you don't know that every shadow guard will be implanted with a parasite after passing the test. Once they betray, the master can kill them on the spot. This time, your plan was very precise, and you plotted against me. I didn't even have time to take away the insect whistle that controlled the parasite, and I was almost killed by you. But you're holding the whistle in your hand, and you don't even know that it's a weapon that holds your life. How dare you say you're the prince of the Lan family empire? As he spoke, he took out the insect whistle from his pocket. Big Animal Hong's body had been modified with drugs, so even blowing the insect whistle would not make him reveal his true form. Lan Hua Hong risked his life to get close to him just to activate the insect whistle and swallow the drugs left in Big Animal Hong's body so that he could reveal his true form. And now, Lan Hua Hong blew the insect whistle. Big Animal Hong immediately fell to the ground, screaming like a pig being slaughtered, and rolling all over the ground. Spare me. Your Highness, I don't dare anymore. So painful. Hall Masterly, Li Zuping, save me. You're the one who made me do all this. Save me. Li Zuping's complexion changed, his eyes revealing a ferocious look. Audacious villain, you dare to frame this Hall Master. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Zuping swiftly charged before Lan Feng and the others before they could react, and then he fiercely slapped down towards the top of Lan Feng's head. Big Animal Hong let out a blood-curdling screech. His eyes stared blankly as he lost his life. Li Zuping withdrew his hand and knelt down in front of Lan Hua Hong. With tears and snot flowing down his face, he said, "Your Highness, this subordinate was really blinded by lard and was actually blinded by a fake. Your Highness, please be magnanimous and forgive this subordinate's mistake on account of my flowing moon sex loyalty to the royal family." The 2 nascent soul stage cultivators also knelt down in fear. Lan Feng was unable to restrain his anger as he said, "Li Zuping, who allowed you to attack Big Animal Hong?" He still hasn't said who's behind this. Are you in such a hurry to kill him to silence him? Chapter 16:18. That's why I was a bit heavy-handed in a moment of desperation. Your Highness, you can punish this subordinate for failing to protect the guards, but please don't doubt the loyalty of this subordinate and the Flowing Moon sect to the imperial family. Lan Feng's face alternates between green and white. Li Zuping keeps mentioning the Flowing Moon sect, but he's clearly using the Flowing Moon sect's loyalty as a threat. Although the Lan family's power in the Ziyun realm is monstrous, and the 11th prince's birth is the noblest, there are still competitors and hidden dangers in the imperial family. The loyalty of any force is very important to the 11th prince and the empress. Lan Huahong reaches out to stop Lan Feng, who is about to flip out, and says with a faint smile, I hope that Hall Master Li can remember today's words. Get up. Li Zuping's heart relaxes a little, and he stands up. Sure enough, the 11th prince is still afraid of the Flowing Moon sect's power. If the Flowing Moon sect defected to the other princes, it would be a huge blow to Lan Huahong and the empress. Just as he stands firm, he hears Lan Huahong say, It's all thanks to my benefactors that I was able to escape danger today. He points at Lu Honyuan, Duan Zi, and the others. The few little radishes immediately hold their heads high, indescribably proud. And the patriarchs, Lan Huahong deeply bows towards Nalin Qing and the others. If it wasn't for the help of the 5 of you just now, I might have already lost my life in the hands of some people. I will never forget the kindness of the 5 families. The patriarchs of the 5 families didn't expect that not only would they find their treasured grandsons, they would also receive such a great favor from the Lan family's prince. They are immediately overjoyed. Lan Huahong's gaze turned to descend on a Xiao Bao and Mu Yin, and there wasn't any arrogance left in his eyes. Only deep gratitude remained. Especially boss. In short, I owe them a great debt of gratitude for being able to survive. And you, Hallmaster Li. His sharp gaze suddenly sweeps towards Li Zuping. Just now, you actually wanted to rob my benefactor's things and almost caused my benefactor's death. Tell me, how should you be punished? Li Zuping's knees go numb, and he almost kneels down again. Your Highness, this really isn't related to this subordinate. It was the imposter Hong Deshang who coveted Miss June. Because Miss June. He bore a grudge against Miss June. That was why he had instigated his underlings to attack Miss June. This subordinate didn't know that it was an imposter. This subordinate was only following orders. Even Lan Huahong's eyes were filled with anger when he heard that he had stripped himself clean. Anyone could tell from the scene, just now, who was coveting the zither. Lan Huahong endured his anger and said coldly, Since you know you're wrong, why don't you apologize to my benefactor? Li Zuping's complexion changes. Gnashing his teeth, he walks in front of Mayan. Miss June, there was some misunderstanding just now. Please be magnanimous. Before he could finish his words, a few of the little ones had already started to chatter and protest. What kind of apology is this? He didn't even kneel down. Yes, he didn't cut out either. Just now, you wanted to beat up our mother and even tried to poison our boss. You deserve to die 10,000 times. I don't think just kowtowing is enough. You should spank him. That's right. When we make a mistake, we also get spanked. We even have to take off our pants and spank. If you want to apologize, you'll have to spank your butt. Spank him. The noisy voices of the little ones can be heard clearly by everyone in the entire square. Chapter 16:19. Lan Huahong held back his laughter and said, Home Masterly, did you hear that? How are you going to apologize to Gu's benefactor? Li Zuping's face distorted. Your Highness, I am the dignified Hall Master of Evolution Moon Sect. How can... If you are not willing to apologize properly, it proves that you are in cahoots with that imposter. Lan Feng sneered. Choose to apologize obediently, or be accused of murdering a prince. Li Zuping, choose yourself. Li Zuping gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to break, but he could not admit that he wanted to murder the 11th prince. Otherwise, not to mention the Lan royal family, Even the Marquis would definitely consign him to eternal damnation. Not long after, Tai Plaza was filled with laughter. Because not only did Li Zuping kowtow to Mayan and Xiao Bao to apologize, his pants were pulled down, and he was ruthlessly spanked 30 times on the high platform. For a nascent soul cultivator, such a punishment was naturally insignificant. However, Li Zuping's face had been completely lost at this moment, especially when he was humiliated in public in front of a group of Azure Blue Realm cultivators that he looked down on. The pain on his but was clearly insignificant, but Li Zuping gritted his teeth so hard that blood almost seeped out. Jun Mayan, Lan Huahong, just you wait. Li Zuping, will definitely take revenge 10 times, 100 times over. After Li Zuping was dealt with, he was immediately dragged away. The two nascent soul cultivators were not spared either. They were even more miserable than Li Zuping. They were directly stripped naked, hung up and beaten in front of everyone. After the three of them were dragged away, Lan Huahong hurriedly walked to Xiao Bao. Boss, thank you. If not for you, Gu would have already died in the Danyang mountain range. You are Gu's benefactor for life, and also Gu's boss for life. Xiao Bao expressionlessly held Mayan's hand and said coldly, if you want to be my lackey for life, it will depend on whether you are promising in the future. Right? Our boss only accepts the most powerful lackeys. Duan Zi and the rest immediately held their heads high and puffed out their chests, extremely cocky. Just like us, we won't embarrass our boss. Little brother Lan, when you get back to the purple cloud world, you have to work hard on your cultivation. You can't turn bad. Otherwise, boss won't want you anymore. Big brother Lan's cultivation is higher than ours right now, and he's our boss #1 lackey, but that might not be the case in the future. We will catch up from behind and snatch back the throne of the #1 lackey. Yes, boss, the throne of #1 lackey is mine. It's mine. Lan Huahong immediately shouted, not to be outdone, impossible. The position of boss's #1 follower must be lonely, forever lonely. When Lan Feng saw this and heard these words, he was dumbfounded. What was going on? His Royal Highness was actually fighting with a bunch of little turnips to be someone else's underlings? Furthermore, it was the little brother of a 5-year-old child. Was he hallucinating because his brain was damaged? Or had his highness suffered too much this time, so his mind was not normal? However, Lan Huahong didn't feel that there was anything wrong with his mind at all. He secretly clenched his fists at Xiao Bao and swore that he would cultivate as hard as he could when he got back. He absolutely couldn't let the throne of boss's #1 lackey be snatched away. Chapter 1620. Xiao Bao's cold and dignified boss expression immediately disappears, and he rubs against her like a spoiled child. Nyangqin, they're so noisy. Mu Yin crouches down and touches his little face. They're very noisy. But when Nyangqin isn't by Xiao Bao's side, they accompany Xiao Bao. Nyangqin is really grateful to them, for Xiao Bao won't be so lonely. Xiao Bao hugs Mu Yin's neck and nods seriously. They're still a bit useful. But the gentleness in the corners of his eyes reveals that he doesn't completely dislike these little brothers. Mu Yin smiles and holds his baby in her arms. The little radishes immediately show envious expressions. Annie's embrace looks so warm. Rub against her. We also want to be hugged by Annie. Annie is so beautiful. It would be great if Yin Yin grew up to be half as beautiful as Annie. Yin Yin also wants to be hugged by Annie. Even Lan Huahong shows an envious expression when he sees this scene. His mother is very good to him, but because of the majesty of the Empress, she rarely gets close to him like this. He also wants to feel his mother's embrace. It must be very fragrant, soft, and warm, right? Xiao Bao sees that his little brothers are looking at his mother covetously, and he immediately becomes furious. Nyangqin belongs to Xiao Bao alone. No one will hug her. He doesn't even want to give her to his lecherous father. Others want to hug her in their dreams. After Li Zuping and the others are taken away, Mu Yin discovers that the woman who framed her has unexpectedly disappeared. She frowns slightly. This feeling of not dying no matter what, and having ridiculously good luck, seems somewhat familiar. However, Muyin doesn't care about this kind of trash. Right now, her eyes are only filled with her lost and recovered treasure. Thus, she picks up Xiao Bao and goes back to Yawang Branch. She hasn't seen her baby for so many days. She wants to take a good look at Xiao Bao to see if he's injured and ask him what he has experienced during this time. The other people of the Xiaoyao school are also looking at their outrageously beautiful martial nephew with starry eyes, forgetting to find someone to settle accounts with. However, they want to leave, but some people are unwilling to let things go, or they don't dare to let things go. Wait, you can't go back to the Arcade branch. Diyu Dao suddenly glared at Mu Yin and said coldly, Jun Mu Yin, you gave birth to a child out of wedlock and behaved inappropriately. Staying in the Starry School will only ruin the school's reputation. I now announce that you have been expelled from the school. Are you kidding me? The people of the Xiaorao sect were enraged. Screw you. Diyu Dao, you old bastard. You framed us just now, and we didn't even care about it. How dare you slander our junior sister? Diyu Dao straightened his back, and his gaze was as sharp as a knife. And the six of you, you have no respect for your elders, disobedient and stubborn. The Starry School will not tolerate you either. All of you leave. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the grandstand was stunned. What did Dean Jai just say? Expel the members of Xiao Yao Squad? Did I hear it wrong? Is he crazy? In this 3 Academy tournament, the Xiao Yao team has given us a lot of face, and Jun Mayan is even more of a heaven-defying existence. Maybe the leader of Qingyun's sect, God Yi, is her. Other schools can't even beg for such a monstrous existence. And he actually wants to expel her? The Tai Square is suddenly in chaos. Chapter 16:21. Xing Danqing's loud laughter suddenly came from the viewing platform. He leapt down from above and looked at Jun Mayan and the others with a burning gaze. Miss Jun, and everyone else, I represent the Phoenix Sky Academy to sincerely invite you to join our academy. We guarantee that we will give you the best conditions, and you will be free to choose the academy's instructors. If the Starry School doesn't want you, the Phoenix Sky School does. The stands were silent for a moment, and then suddenly, earth-shattering shouts erupted from several places. That's right, let Great God Yi and the Carefree team come to our Phoenix Sky Academy. Haha, I told you that only our Phoenix Sky Academy is worthy of the title of Emerald Sky Master. Long live Dean Xing. If we can really invite the Carefree team to our academy, I'm willing to convince my father to donate 1,000,000 crystals to the academy. God Yi, Xiao Yao team, Starry School doesn't want you, we want you. If he wants to come, he should come to our Spiritual Martial Academy. Not to be outdone, Li Wenyuan leaped down from the stage as well. His previous resentment towards the Carefree team was gone, and he was smiling so widely that his face was filled with wrinkles. Miss June, I guarantee that the treatment in the Spiritual Martial Academy will be better than in the Fontian Academy. Even if you don't want to be in the same branch as others, we can still open a branch for you just like the Arcade branch. This time, it was the Spiritual Martial Academy's turn to be excited. Dean Li, good job. You must let the Carefree team come to our Spiritual Martial Academy. Yes, the Starry School is nothing. The Spiritual Martial Arts School is the most open-minded. We don't care about having children out of wedlock or being gay. Haha, I'm about to go crazy thinking about God Yi coming to our Lingwu Academy. Me too. If we can get our hands on Master Ye's barrier-breaking talisman, wouldn't we make a fortune? Feng Tian and the students of the Spiritual and Martial Arts Academy cheered. On the other hand, the students of the Starry School were dumbfounded. What the hell was going on? God Yi and the Carefree team both belonged to Starry School. The champion of the Tri-Academy tournament should also belong to Starry School. Why should it be taken away by other schools? After being dumbfounded, he flew into a rage. Fuck, is there something wrong with Diyudeo's head? The Carefree team and the Lord of the Green Clouds sect both belong to the Starry School. Why should they be given to others? Motherfucker, if this daddy says that I'm in the same academy as Clear Sky Sovereign, how much face would I have? How many people would be envious of me? If the Carefree team leaves, I'll drop out of Starry School. Yes, I'm quitting too. What kind of damned academy is this? What kind of trash dean is this? I don't want to serve you anymore. A wave of rebellion was completely set off in the stands. There were even quite a few people who rushed down from above and stood directly behind Mu Yin and the others. When Di Dao saw this scene, he was so angry that he almost fainted. Rebel. Rebellion. All of them had rebelled. I'm the dean, and I'm ordering all of you to return to the super monastery. However, no one in the Starry School listened to him. TSK. So what if I'm rebelling? Wherever Xiao Yao's squad goes, I'll go. Ouyangqing looked at Ling Yuxing calmly and said loudly, if the Carefree team is really expelled from the Starry School, I will also apply to quit. Hearing this, the members of the Dubhe squad immediately echoed, Boss is leaving. What are we still doing here? Let's go together. Chapter 1622. Seeing this, Xing Danqing and Li Wenyuan were so happy that their mouths were crooked. If he could really recruit the people from Xiaorao team and Tianshu team, wouldn't he have 2 more places to go to Dragon Soaring Academy? Not to mention Jun Mayan's identity as the leader of Qingyun sect. Also, her son's kindness to the 5 clans was a treasure among treasures. Only an idiot would not fight for it. Di Dao did not expect that this would happen when he just wanted to expel a few students. He was so angry that he could not even speak properly. He could only keep repeating, it's the opposite. I'm the college chief. College Chief Zhai, have you had enough? A stern voice came from the spectator stand. Immediately after, Meng Baichuan and the other college chiefs of the 6 schools landed on the ground. They looked at Diyu coldly and said, College Chief D, even if you are the college chief of Starry School does not belong to you alone. What did the 7 people from Yaoguang branch do wrong that you have to expel them? Moreover, even if they did something wrong, they should get the approval of all the college chiefs and deputy college chiefs to expel them. How can you make such a hasty decision? Su Ilun also slowly walked out from the crowd. The expression on his face was still gentle and elegant. In fact, the corners of his mouth even curved into a gentle smile. Dean Zhai, your actions today are indeed a bit unusual, right? Just now, it has already been proven that the 7 people from Yaoguang branch did not do anything wrong. The school's rules do not stipulate that female cultivators cannot have children out of wedlock. If you insist on expelling them like this, people will think that you have something up your sleeves. Di Dao's face twitched. He was already panicking. I'm the college chief. Do I not even have the right to punish a few students? Meng Baichuan sneered. College Chief Zhai, can't you see that the other colleges are fighting for the students that you are trying so hard to expel? If you can't even see this, then I think that you as a college chief are really muddle-headed. You're no longer suitable for your position. How dare you? Di Dao was so angry that he almost fainted. However, Meng Baichuan did not even look at his expression. Instead, he looked directly at the deans of the other branches. What do you guys think? Outstanding cultivators like the Carefree team must stay in our Starry School. Only a fool would push them away. I agree with Branch Chief Meng's words. If Chief Zhai still refuses to come to his senses, I think it's time for us to elect a new chief of the Starry School. Meng Baichuan turns to Jun Mayan and the others, his expression softening a bit. Previously, I didn't agree to let you enter the Alcade branch there. He pauses, but now, you didn't lose face for the Alcade branch, and you also made the Alcade branch proud of you. I hope that all of you will reconsider and stay in Starry School. I promise that you will not be treated unfairly again. Chapter 1623. Meng Baichuan was the college chief of the Tianshu Institute. The members of the Tianshu team naturally respected and feared him. They did not dare to retort even after being scolded. They could only mumble, that's because someone was too aggressive. Otherwise, how could we bear to leave Starry School? Yes, if the Carefree team stays, we stay too. If the Carefree team leaves, we leave too. College Chief Meng, you must keep the Carefree team in Starry School. A smile appeared on Meng Baichuan's face. Don't worry. Since the 7 members of the Carefree team entered Starry School, they are naturally members of Starry School. Moreover, they performed so well in the 3 schools tournament. The school will reward them greatly. Repair the Alcade branch and let them enjoy the best treatment in Starry School. Hearing that the Alcade branch would be repaired, Deudeo's face paled and fear flashed in his eyes. Su Iluin glanced at him, and his lips curled into a faint smile that disappeared in a flash. Meng Baichuan's words caused the Starry School people to cheer. But now, the people from the Fengtian School and the Spiritual Martial Arts School were not happy. It was not easy for the Carefree team to become part of their school. It would be such a pity if they slipped away for nothing. Thus, the Tai Square became noisy again. Xing Danqing and Li Wenyuan almost snatched them away. In the end, it was Meng Baichuan who made the final decision. Why don't we let the Carefree team decide whether to stay or leave? Everyone's eyes are focused on the 7 people, while the members of the Xiao Yao team all look at Mu Yin. Clearly, this decision had to be made by her. The corner of Mayan's mouth hooks up into a faintly discernible arc. She glances at Diyu Dao, and under everyone's attentive gaze, she says unhurriedly, "We've decided to stay in the Alcade branch." As soon as he said that, the students and teachers of the Starry School cheered. Feng Tian and the students from the Spiritual Martial Arts School were disappointed and sighed. Deudeo's face turned green and white, his hands clenched into fists. Mu Yin continued, "College Chief Zhai wants to chase us out of the Alcade branch so much. There must be a very interesting secret there, right? Before we dig out this secret, how can we bear to leave?" With that, the 7 of them, including Su Zi, left. Only Diyu Dao was left behind, listening to the excited discussions of the surrounding students. "What secrets does the Alcade institution have? Why don't we go and take a look?" His face was filled with terror, and he could barely stand. At night, in the Alcade branch, Luo Yu stood in front of the bronze mirror and stared at her reflection for a long time. His face was devoid of his usual playfulness and cuteness. What was left was only a deep sense of solemnity and confusion. Luo Yu suddenly stretched out her hand and slowly unbuttoned her shirt, taking it off. The candlelight in the room flickered and seemed to grow brighter. However, in the next moment, a ray of light that was 100 times brighter than the candlelight soared in the room. Luo Yu stared blankly at the huge shadow that appeared behind her in the mirror. It was an incomparably beautiful snow-white beast. Its fur was long and glossy, and a pair of deep eyes looked at him through the mirror. There seemed to be the vicissitudes of life in those eyes. The most dazzling thing was the blood-red horn on its head. Under the white light, it was so small that it looked like a ball of fire. Chapter 16:24. Because the giant beast behind Luo Yu was also a Baizai, and the Baizai that appeared behind him was far more solid and powerful than the Baizai mythological beast that Lan Huahong controlled. Luo Yu looked at the mythological beast in the mirror and murmured, "The Lan Empire is also surnamed Lan. Does it have something to do with me?" After a whole day, everyone in the Xiao Yao sect was in a state of emotional turmoil. So no matter how much they liked and were curious about Xiao Bao, no one disturbed Mu Yin and her son's reunion tonight. Mu Yin examined Xiao Bao carefully and was relieved to make sure that he wasn't injured and that his strength had greatly increased. Xiao Bao nestled in Mu Yan's arms and told her what he had experienced recently. "Mother, when little Treasure was very, very sad, I heard your voice, and I also heard Daddy's voice." Mu Yin was startled. "Di Mingju." Xiao Bao nodded heavily. Xiao Bao felt like he was about to die, but suddenly, a powerful force killed the bad guy. Xiao Bao could feel that Daddy's breath was in that force. Mu Yin hugged the person in her arms tightly and said hoarsely, "Xiao Bao, I'm sorry. Mother won't let you suffer anymore." Xiao Bao buried his blushing face in Mu Yan's arms. Xiao Bao didn't suffer. As long as he could be with his mother, Xiao Bao didn't suffer at all. What is this place? Is this a woman or a man? A demon or a ghost? As the mother and daughter were being intimate, they heard a noisy male voice at the same time. Xiao Bao blinked. "It's Bai Xie." He's awake. Mu Yin had heard Xiao Bao say that Bai Xie was a broken sword that was trapped in the Fushi's secret realm. But a sword that could give birth to a weapon spirit couldn't be that bad. Just as they were thinking, Bai Xie's scream rang in their ears again. When they entered, they saw a short-haired youth with a baby face being ruthlessly trampled under Qi Huang's feet. Seeing Xiao Bao come in, the baby-faced youth's eyes brightened, and he immediately shouted, "Little Master. You're a little master, right? Little Master, save me. This she-male wants to kill me." Ah! As soon as he finished speaking, Qi Huang suddenly increased the force under his foot, causing the young man to let out an earth-shattering scream. "Where did you come from, monster? Who allowed you to enter the space? How dare you scold me? I think you must be tired of living." Little Phoenix flapped his wings and spun around while shouting, "Hit him, hit him!" He had wanted to pluck Xiuqiu's beautiful feathers just now. Lord Seven Brilliance quickly beat it up. Looking at the mess, Mu Yin couldn't help but cough lightly. Holding Xiao Bao's hand, she walked forward. "Seven Brilliance, let go. He's the artifact spirit of Xiao Bao's flying sword." Artifact spirit? Seven Brilliance looked suspiciously at the youth who was shouting at his feet. How can there be such an ugly artifact spirit? Fuck! How am I ugly? And no matter how unsightly I am, I'm still better than an androgynous gay transvestite like you. Then, Mu Yin and Xiao Bao watched another inhumane torture. When Bai Xie was completely beaten by Qi Huang, he finally admitted defeat and begged for mercy. "Big brother, I'm sorry, I won't dare to call you a transvestite ever again." Chapter 16:25. All right, Qi Huang. Mu Yin quickly stopped Qi Huang and looked at the baby-faced youth. "You're Bai Xie." Bai Xie nodded and was about to speak when he saw Mu Yin. He was dumbfounded. Damn, how can there be such a beautiful woman in the world? All the celebrities I've seen in the past are not even worthy of carrying her shoes. Then he looked at his little master. When he was still in the sword, he could only roughly feel Xiao Bao's figure and temperament. Now that he saw his little master, he was dumbfounded. God, he really recognized a 5-year-old as his master. Not only was this 5-year-old child as beautiful as a little angel, but he was also so awesome and valiant. Although he knew that they were in a fantasy world, it was still too fantastical. Wait! Bai Xie's eyes suddenly widened. He looked at Mu Yin and Xiao Bao's extremely similar faces. "You two are really mother and son?" Xiao Bao immediately hugged Mu Yin and stared at Bai Xie unkindly. "Of course I'm Xiao Bao's mother. Xiao Bao's alone." Bai Xie almost fainted. "Beast, beast! Little master, your father is such a beast. How could he do this to such a young girl and give birth to such a beautiful child? This is so unfair. I've lived for so many years, but I'm still a single dog. God is so unfair." Bai Xie's every word was strange, but strangely familiar to Mu Yin. It was very similar to the words in Bailey Liuin's notebook. Mu Yin's heart skipped a beat, but she did not speak. Just then, Qi Huang's expression suddenly changed. He sniffed and murmured, "It's the aura of the divine beast Bays." Bays? Mu Yin was stunned. It should be the 11th Highness? She remembered that when Lan Huahong activated the soul orb in Tai Square, a huge figure had appeared. Mu Yin only knew that it was the divine beast Bays from the discussions around her. Lan Huahong and the 5 clans had not left Starry School yet because the little guys all wanted to stay with Xiao Bao, so they all followed him to Alcade Branch. However, they were chased away by Xiao Bao, who only wanted to be alone with his mother. Who knew that when Qi Huang heard Mu Yan's words, he would coldly snort in disdain. What kind of Bai Zhe is that? It was just a little bit of Bai Zhe's soul energy. But now, he smelled the scent of the real Bai Zhe. "Junmai and hurry, let's go take a look." Mu Yin hesitated for a moment, then immediately left the house and headed in the direction that Qi Huang had pointed. "Right here." Seven Brilliance's excited voice rang in his ears. Such a rich, divine beast aura. This sovereign was right. Mu Yin looks at the house in front of her, her brows tightly wrinkled. This was Seven's room. Why did Qi Huang feel the aura of God Beast Bai Zhe in Xiao Qi's room? Did something happen to Xiao Qi? Thinking of this, Mu Yin couldn't care about anything else. Without hesitation, she pushed open the door and rushed in. Xiaoqi, are you okay? However, the scene in front of her shocked her. Luo Yu's upper body was naked. Her white skin was enveloped in the light. Chapter 16:26. Luo Yu is startled, his mind is distracted, and he can't control the soul bead anymore. The giant beast behind him howls in warning, unwilling, and finally dissipates into the air. Sixth sister. Luo Yu puts on his clothes in a panic and looks at Mayan nervously. Why are you here? Mayan still hasn't come back to her senses. Just now, was that the divine beast by Zay? Luo Yu is silent for a while, then says softly, I don't know. When I was very young, one day, my whole body suddenly hurt. Then, a white pearl suddenly appeared on my back. Then, there was a huge, ferocious beast following me. I was very scared at that time, afraid that the beast would eat me, and afraid that others would think of me as a monster, so I didn't dare to tell anyone. Luo Yu has lived in the Xiaorao sect since he can remember. At that time, there were only two people in the sect, Master and Big Brother. Hence, only Master and eldest senior brother knew that Luo Yu's body was acting strangely and that she could summon the mythical beast by Zay. Until now, Luo Yu clearly remembers what Master and Big Brother told him over and over again. He must not reveal the tattoo on his back in front of others, and he must not let the white beast appear in front of others. Otherwise, he will be taken away and eaten as a monster. Luo Yu isn't afraid of being taken away and eaten, but he's afraid that others will look at him like he's a monster and treat him as a terrible and disgusting alien, especially his favorite senior brothers and sisters. So for so many years, apart from Shiqing and Yun Ruhan, no one knows that Luo Yu also has a soul bead and can even summon the real body of the divine beast by Zay, which is 100 times stronger than the Lan royal family of Ziyunjie. Luo Yu looks at Mayan in panic, his eyes full of fear, uneasiness, and hope. Sixth sister. Do you think I'm a monster? Idiot! Mayan knocks him on the forehead. For others, summoning the divine beast by Zay is a symbol of noble bloodline, and you're actually afraid that you're a monster? Is there something wrong with your brain? Luo Yu's forehead turns red from the hit, but he laughs foolishly. Sure enough, Sixth sister doesn't despise him. Moreover, when Lan Huahong summoned the divine beast by Zay today, everyone's expression was shocked and envious. No one showed disgust or fear. That meant that he really wasn't a monster that people would hate and despise. But why didn't Master and eldest senior brother let me show my soul orb, let alone summon by Zay? Luo Yu asked doubtfully. Mu Yan's heart trembles slightly. Perhaps this has something to do with your past. Origin? Luo Yu murmured and repeated, I always thought that I was an orphan and that Master and senior brothers and senior sisters were my only family. Mu Yin, however, restrained her expression and said solemnly, Since Master and eldest senior brother don't want you to reveal your soul pearl, they naturally have their reasons. In the future, you must never reveal it in front of others, understand? Luo Yu nodded obediently. Then she couldn't help but ask absent-mindedly, Sixth senior sister, tell me, why can I summon the divine beast by Zay like the prince of the Lan royal family? Why am I also surnamed Lan? Could it be that my parents are related to the Lan imperial clan? Mu Yin touched his head. Are we going to Dragon Soaring Academy to participate in the Deer Cry banquet? When we are in the Purple Cloud realm, we can ask around secretly. Maybe we can find some information about your parents. Chapter 16:29. Yes, I want to always be so weak and drag the boss down forever. Then Su Su shouldn't drag the boss down. Su Su also has to go home to learn. The little kids all looked at Xiao Bao with tears in their eyes. Their little bodies kept shaking. Obviously, they were very sad, but this time they stubbornly didn't cry. Xiao Bao said, "Idiot, you can come here to see me at any time. I can also come to see you on Bixia." Hearing this, the little guys immediately smiled through tears. "Boss, can we still come to see you?" Xiao Bao nodded. "Boss, then we'll go first. You must wait for us to come back. Little brother, Yin Yin will miss you." Xiao Bao nodded expressionlessly and watched them leave. Xiao Bao watched as the few reluctant children boarded their own spaceship, looking back every few steps. Xiao Bao immediately hugged Mu Yin happily and buried her little head in his neck. That was great. Finally, no one would disturb him and his mother alone. Xiao Bao said that it was not easy to reunite with his mother. He didn't want to waste time on other people. Miss June, young Master June, Lan Feng walked before Mu Yin and Xiao Bao and bowed deeply. "Your grace towards His Highness and the Lan royal family, we are deeply grateful and will never forget it. If there is a chance in the future, I will repay you well." Lan Feng didn't give a substantial thank you, but gave such a promise. But the value of this promise was far more than any spiritual weapon or elixir, because this was tantamount to saying that the entire Lan royal family owed Mu Yin and Xiao Bao a huge favor. This was something that ordinary people couldn't even beg for. However, Xiao Bao and Mu Yin didn't care about this, so they didn't take Lan Feng's promise to heart. "By the way, why didn't I see Hall Master Li?" Mu Yin suddenly asked. Lan Feng frowned. After that day, Hall Master Li left a message saying that he had something to deal with, and then he disappeared. Then he sneered. A mere Hall Master of the derived moon sect thought that he could show off by giving him a little face. "Oh, don't worry. When I go back, I will definitely settle the score with them." In an inn in Tianluo City, Lu Ruoxuan pushed a male cultivator who had become a mummy onto the bed and slowly put on his clothes. Her face was beaten into a pig's head, and her wrists were broken. But now, it was as good as new. Lu Ruoxuan looked at the beautiful woman in the mirror and sneered. Her eyes were filled with pride. The heavens were indeed looking out for her. No matter how that slut June Mayan oppresses her, she can always rise from the ashes. And now, she's in the dark, while Mayan's in the light. It's time for her to see June Mayan and her bastard die without a burial ground. After absorbing the essence of more than 10 practitioners, her cultivation had already stepped into the nascent soul stage. Furthermore, these few days, she had even used the male cultivator's essence to refine 1,000 charm goo. In Mei Xian's memories, this 1,000 charm goo was an extremely powerful thing. Even a nascent soul cultivator would not be able to withstand its power. Once 1,000 charm goo invaded one's body, they would burn with lust, unable to control themselves. Even in public, she couldn't wait to take off her clothes and throw herself into a man's arms. The humiliation and trampling that she had suffered were all brought to her by June Mayan. Chapter 1630. Suddenly, a paper crane flew in from the window. Lu Ruoxuan took it and opened it. She was surprised at first, then laughed out loud. June Mayan, I was thinking how to sneak into the Starry School to deal with you. I didn't expect you to deliver yourself to me. Ha ha ha. Then I'll let you embarrass yourself on the busiest street of Tianluo City. You'll never be able to see anyone again." Lu Ruoxuan looked at herself in the mirror and smiled sinisterly. She immediately put on her veil and left the inn. She had seduced countless male cultivators in Tianluo City during this period of time. Some male cultivators were sucked dry of their essence and turned into corpses. There were also male cultivators who were charmed by her and worked for her. Lu Ruoxuan's current charm was far from what the young and inexperienced Lu Ruoxuan could compare with. After being seduced by her, the male cultivators would fall head over heels and gradually lose their sanity. In the end, they would be completely controlled by her and become her puppet. The paper crane just now was sent to her by the puppet. It was the news of June Mayan's group being found in Tianluo City. Soon, Lu Ruoxuan found June Mayan on the busiest street of Tianluo City. She suddenly held her breath and hid herself on the second floor of a hotel. She stared coldly at the girl who was surrounded by the crowd. June Mayan, today, I'll make sure you never recover. Ever since Mayan found out that Xiao Bao had been trapped in the Fushi's secret realm for so long, her heart ached terribly. So after the Jasper Forest gathering, she brought Xiao Bao to go shopping. She wanted to bring him to taste delicious spirit food, dress him up in beautiful clothes, and give him the best in the world. However, every time Mayan takes a fancy to something and wants to buy it, someone will definitely rush out from the side. Xiao Bao, do you like this? Bye. I'll buy it all for you. Fourth senior sister, get out of the way. This time, it's my turn as seventh martial uncle to buy it for my little martial nephew. Even the steady eldest martial brother, the wooden Qin Jiao, and the deep and unfathomable Chu Moli, after strolling for an hour on the street, were all filled with Cosmo sacks, all of which were gifts for Xiao Bao. This time, Su Zi also came with her. He was more or less hostile and jealous of those who were close to Mu Yin. However, after seeing Xiao Bao's small and exquisite face, which is 70 to 80% similar to Mayan's, he can't be jealous at all. On the contrary, she was captivated by his cold and adorable appearance. Along the way, he was the one who bought the most gifts for Xiao Bao. The people of the Xiaorao sect, including Su Zi, had just placed bets on the Tri-Academy tournament a while ago. Although they lost money because the Xiaorao team didn't win the championship, they still made a huge profit overall. Therefore, everyone was very rich now. He didn't feel any heartache when he bought things. In the beginning, Mayan would still try to stop him. She also really wants to spend crystals for her baby, okay? But when he saw how happy his fellow apprentices were, he let them be. Lung Yima hung a small jade pendant on Xiao Bao's waist and said with a smile, Xiao Bao, this is for you. Fourth martial uncle will hang it for you. Xiao Bao nodded expressionlessly and said in a childish voice, Thank you, fourth martial uncle. Chapter 1631. Xiao Bao's body stiffened. He pushed Lung Yuma away and scolded, Fourth martial uncle, men and women should not touch each other. You can't do this. As soon as these words came out, everyone present burst into laughter. Even Bai Xie couldn't help but jump out and laugh. You little brat, you haven't even graduated from kindergarten at my place. Do you know that men and women should not touch each other? Haha, this is too funny. Xiao Bao squinted his eyes and grabbed Bai Xie and stabbed him into the ground. No one knew how much strength he used, but Bai Xie was stabbed into the ground and couldn't come out for a while. Xiao Bao and the rest continued to walk forward, leaving Bai Xie shaking the sword and shouting, Damn it, you're angry because I said it right. You can't do this. Bridge is full of gunny sacks. I was wrong, okay? Little master, wait for me. Of course, only Xiao Bao and Mu Yin could hear it. Behind the window on the second floor, Lu Ruoxuan carefully concealed her presence. She didn't even let her gaze fall on Mu Yin to avoid being noticed. When she saw Xiao Nao and the others walking towards her, she sneered and silently sent out the 1,000 charm goo in her hand. And this time, she didn't just send out 1,000 charm goo, but 3. In the past, when she dealt with Mu Yin, she always succeeded at the beginning, but failed at the end. The root cause was that she was too careless with her rival in love. But this time, she won't be careless. Seeing the goo flying towards Mu Yin silently and slowly landing on her shoulder, Lu Ruoxuan couldn't help but tremble with excitement. Very soon, she could see Mu Yin tearing off her clothes and pouncing on the man hungrily. And all of this is happening in front of her son. She would like to see how Mu Yin is going to behave in the future. Ha ha bang! A light sound came from behind. Bai Xie had unknowingly broken free from the stone floor and pounced toward Xiao Bao. Bastard master, you really abandoned me. You heartless brat. Have you forgotten who saved you in the Fushi secret realm? In order to save you, I almost lost my life, Balabala. Xiao Bao reached out and grabbed the Bixia sword. He said coldly, I'll throw you away if you make any more noise. As he spoke, he waved his hand lightly as if he was about to throw it away. Ding, there was a soft sound. Bai Xie asked curiously, I feel like I just slapped something away. Was it an illusion? Lu Ruoxuan stood by the window and watched as the goo worm was about to land on Mu Yan's body. However, she could only watch as the 1,000-charm goo was slapped away by the evil warding sword and was trampled to death on the ground. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth. How could this be? How could Junmai's luck be so good? But fortunately, she still had the second and third goo worms. On the street below, Little Bao frowned and said, "What is it?" "I don't know. Maybe it was a flying insect, or maybe it was a rock. Could it be someone's booger? Little master, you must help me clean up." Xiao Bao frowned and flung the sword away. Lu Ruoxuan watched helplessly as the 1,000-charm goo that she had painstakingly refined was cut in half by the Bixia sword. She almost fainted from anger. How could this be? How could this be? Chapter 1632. She doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe that she can't kill Mayan. Lu Ruoxuan's eyes are red. She activates the malevolent energy in her body and injects it into the last 1,000-charm goo. The 1,000-charm goo in the air immediately turns into a ray of light and shoots towards Mayan. She doesn't care if her position is exposed. She only wants to kill Mayan immediately. On the street, Bai Xie is playing with Xiao Bao. Suddenly, he feels a cold and frightening malevolent energy in the air. His voice changes. "Little master, there's a demon." Xiao Bao doesn't even think. He grabs the hilt of Bai Xie and lightly swings it in the air. With a clink, something was sent flying by the Bixia sword again. The body of the sword trembled and emitted a buzzing sound. A wisp of gloomy and cold temperature drifted in the air. Bai Xie is confused. "Little master, I didn't even feel where the malevolent energy came from. How did you send it flying? What was that thing that flew over?" Xiao Bao is expressionless, but he holds Mayan's hand tightly. "I don't know." Intuition. He doesn't know what it is, he doesn't know where it came from. It's just that his intuition is a threat to his mother, so he instinctively retaliated. "Bai Xie, I give up." "Little master, are you sure you are not the son of heaven? This luck is a little too heaven-defying." But Mayan also feels something is wrong, especially the malevolent energy in the air. She is familiar with it. "Xiao Bao, what's wrong?" Xiao Bao is about to speak, but a scream comes from upstairs. Then, on the second floor of the restaurant next door, a veiled woman suddenly tore off her clothes and pounced on the man next to her. Without saying a word, she straddled him and let out moans that made people blush and their hearts beat faster. Mayan quickly covers Xiao Bao's eyes. Bai Xie screams, "What the hell? Is this ancient or modern? There's actually such a strong woman, such an eyesore." Xiao Bao obediently nestles in Mayan's arms. He doesn't look but frowns. "Mother, I think this person wants to harm you." He actually didn't see what attacked his mother, nor did he see where it came from. But his instinct tells him that this person wants to harm his mother. Mu Yin frowned, a stern look flashing through her eyes. "Little junior sister, stay here and look after Xiao Bao. We'll go capture them for you." "Yes, I can't let my good nephew see such a dirty scene." "Little missy, don't worry. If anyone wants to harm you, we won't let them off." At first, Mu Yin wanted to go and catch them herself, but when she recalled the scene above and looked at Xiao Bao in her arms, she nodded. The people of the Xiaoyao school, including Su Zi, jumped into the restaurant. Even the evil warding sword flew up to join in the fun. Just as they rushed to the second floor, they saw a naked woman desperately clinging to a male cultivator. She kept raising her head and moaning. The people in the restaurant all pointed at this scene, and their eyes were filled with contempt and disdain for this woman. Lung Yuma sneered. "It seems like he schemed against our junior sister and suffered the consequences of his own actions." Before she could finish her sentence, she had already leaped into the air and swung her long saber at the woman. Chapter 1633. But in the end, her chest was still cut, and blood immediately gushes out. Ling Yuxing's movements are also very fast. The rope in his hand quickly shoots out, and in the blink of an eye, the naked woman is firmly tied up. Lung Yuma strides forward. "I'd like to see which blind thing dares to harm our junior sister." "Hey, Isn't this the slut who insisted on saying that Junior's sister killed the child on Tai Plaza that day? She still hasn't given up? This person is sick, right? We've never seen each other, and Junior's sister shouldn't know her. Why does she insist on pestering Junior's sister? Chu Moli stares at Lu Ruoxuan's face and suddenly sneers. Not necessarily. Perhaps she's our old acquaintance? Even a nascent soul stage cultivator can't resist the 1,000 charm goo's power. Lu Ruoxuan used 3,000 charm goo, thinking that no matter what, she would make a fool of Mayan in front of everyone. She didn't expect that child to casually wave his sword and kill 2 of her 1,000 charm goo. The final 1,000 charm goo directly flew back to her body, allowing her to do it in front of everyone. But 1,000 charm goo was raised by her, and Lung Yuma's sword made her mind clear. Thinking about everything that just happened, she almost grinds her teeth in hatred. In the past, her luck was always excellent. But today, she doesn't know what's going on, but it's like she's suddenly been pestered by the god of misfortune. No, that's not right. It should be said that ever since that child, ever since Mayan's son appeared, it's like she's met her nemesis. All her good luck has turned into bad luck. In the past, although she couldn't succeed in scheming against Mayan, she could at least take the initiative a few times. But ever since that child appeared, she's simply been unlucky to the extreme. How could this be? What kind of person is Mayan's son? Young lady, who exactly are you? Why are you scheming against little sister? Su Zi crouches down, looking at the naked and distressed Lu Ruoxuan. He says in a gentle tone, "Is there some misunderstanding in between?" The youth's voice is soft and clear, warm and gentle. Coupled with his clear eyes and the mole at the corner of his eyes, it makes people unconsciously feel close and trustworthy. Lu Ruoxuan said absent-mindedly, "My name is Lu." Before she could finish speaking, she suddenly came to her senses and stared at the youth in front of her in disbelief. His eyes were filled with intense fear, anger, and hatred. She remembers now. No wonder she felt that this youngster looked familiar when he first appeared by Mayan's side. She had a pair of gentle and limpid eyes, and there was a mole under the corner of her eye. He was the one who had fed her poison in the Danyang mountain range, forcing her to sign a soul contract with Mei Xian. Lu Ruoxuan glared at the person in front of her. Her face was distorted, and her eyes were bursting with intense hatred. Her mind repeatedly replayed the pain of her body being torn apart after the poison entered her stomach, as well as the despair of watching death come upon her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have signed a soul contract with Mei Xian and become a promiscuous woman. She also wouldn't have nearly lost her body to Mei Xian. She recalled what Su Zi had said before he left. "Although I don't know where you came from, I actually happened to hear you cursing Big Sister. How can I let you live?" Chapter 1634. Little Missy. It turns out that the little sister he was talking about is June Mayan. Su Zi looked at the malevolent expression on his face, and the smile on his face suddenly became even gentler and gentler. He turned to look at Chu Moli and said, "Senior Chu, as expected, he knows little sister, and he seems to know me as well. Maybe one of our enemies changed their appearance." Lung Yuma was eager to give it a try. "Why don't we bring them back and interrogate them? I don't believe that I can't dig out her true identity." Chu Moli had a gentle and bashful smile on his face. However, he shook his head slightly and said, "Although I also have a few torturous punishments that I really want to put into practice on her, I can't do anything about it. But I don't know why, but I have a feeling that letting this woman live would be a bigger problem. So, second senior brother, go kill her." When Qin Jiu heard this, he immediately nodded without hesitation and strode towards Lu Ruoxuan. Lu Ruoxuan did not panic when she was tied up. She knew that these people would not easily kill her in order to find out her true identity. As long as she was alive, she could think of a way to escape. Who would have thought that Chu Moli's way of doing things was completely illogical? Seeing Qin Jiu approaching step by step with a strong killing intent bursting out from her eyes, Lu Ruoxuan finally panicked. Don't you want to know my true identity? June Mayan? How'd June Mayan come see me? She won't kill me so easily. I want to see Mayan." Chu Moli chuckled lightly and said unhurriedly, There's no need to trouble little junior Marshall's sister with this kind of matter. Second senior brother, attack. Qin Jiao ruthlessly punched Lu Ruoxuan in the face with a loud bang. Lu Ruoxuan vaguely heard a cracking sound. It was the sound of her nose and cheekbones breaking. One of her eyes almost popped out of its socket. She let out a blood-curdling scream, and her whole body was sent flying. She couldn't get up for a long time, and at this time, Wang Qin's second punch had already arrived. If she was hit a second time, her brain would definitely burst and she would die. Lu Ruoxuan didn't care about anything else and suddenly let out a sharp scream. The next moment, she saw the figures of several male cultivators rushing in from the window, blocking her way. The faces of these male cultivators were muddle-headed, as if they had completely lost their minds. When Qin Jiao's fist arrived before him, he did not even bother to dodge. With just a single punch, he vomited a mouthful of blood and fainted. However, Lu Ruoxuan had already jumped out of the window in the time it took for her to stop him. Lung Yumo sneered. "Want to run? No way." After saying that, he took the lead and chased after them. Yun Ruhan, Ling Yuxing, and Luo Yu didn't stay idle either. Chu Moli, who remained where he was, frowned slightly. This woman is indeed somewhat strange. There seems to be a power in this world that is preventing us from killing her. Sure enough, 2 hours later, Yun Ruhan and the others returned in low spirits. After listening to their narration, Muyan also looks pensive. Moreover, speaking of luck that could not be killed no matter what, another person suddenly appeared in her mind. Lu Ruoxuan. Back then, Lu Ruoxuan was also like this, no matter how much he beat her down. However, there would always be someone who would save her. At the very least, she would not die. But if the ghost lingered around and couldn't be gotten rid of no matter what, wouldn't it be annoying? I know what that woman is. Seven Brilliance's disdainful voice suddenly rang in his ears. Chapter 1635. Bah! What kind of heaven's favored child is she? Qi Huang sneers. It's just a medicinal goo left behind by those shameless humans in ancient times. Medicinal goo? What's that? Mu Yin sinks her divine sense into the Tian Mo Qin's space. She sees Qi Huang frowning tightly, his eyes filled with disgust and hatred. What else could it be? It's just trash created by you greedy and selfish humans in order to satisfy your own selfish desires. It can enhance your own strength by robbing the luck of other creatures between heaven and earth. Such a medicinal goo, once it matures, is both a demon and a devil, a monster that simply cannot be tolerated in the 3 realms and the 6 paths. It will be a disaster and catastrophe for all creatures, but you humans still rush to it. Mu Yin gently pats his head. Those stupid humans have already suffered the consequences of their own evil deeds. They can't be any more dead, but our great Qi Huang is still alive and well, and will live even better in the future. So, don't deviate from the topic. Let's go back to medicinal goo. According to what you said, this Lu Ruoxuan is a medicinal goo that can rob other people's luck. Doesn't that mean we can't do anything to her? Qi Huang stares at her blankly for a long time before he lowers his eyes, the corners of his mouth pulling up into a shallow smile. When he speaks again, his voice is especially smug as he hums a few times. Why not? Those stupid humans in ancient times said that the medicinal goo they created is the heaven's favored child. Bah! It's a demonic monster. Usually, it looks like it's baring its fangs and brandishing its claws, but when it encounters a child of heaven's chosen with great luck, it can only die miserably. Child of heaven's chosen? Mu Yin blinks. Are you talking about me? It seems that every time Lu Ruoxuan encountered her, she would end up miserably, without the glory of a heaven's favored child. Who knew that Qi Huang would roll his eyes? Are you dreaming? I'm talking about your son, the immortal physique, born at the right time, gathering the essence of heaven and earth, containing the spiritual wisdom of all living things. He is the true child of heaven's chosen. Even the future fate of the 3 realms may be rewritten by him. And you, at most, you've stayed with the child of heaven's chosen for a long time, basking in some light, that's all. Mu Yin is despised by her own artifact spirit, but she doesn't feel the slightest bit ashamed or annoyed. Instead, she's happy. She hugs Xiao Bao and kisses him several times as soon as she gets out of the space. Xiao Bao, you're really Nyangqin's most beloved baby. Xiao Bao's little face flushed from the kiss. He hugged Mu Yan's neck. He was both shy and happy. His big, watery blue eyes carried a bit of doubt. Why did Nyangqin suddenly kiss him? She even called him her most beloved baby in front of so many people? She felt a little shy and happy at the same time. Lu Ruoxuan had been chased by Yun Ruhan and the others, and her killing intent and spiritual energy were almost depleted. She was in a sorry state, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't shake them off. Moreover, Lu Ruoxuan couldn't understand. She was obviously at the peak of the Gold Core realm. However, when facing the Xiaorao sex cultivators of the Anidia stage, they couldn't do anything. Many times, he had narrowly escaped death and almost lost his life under their hands. In the end, Lu Ruoxuan thought of Li Zuping and the chief of the Starry School, Diyu Dao. These two people obviously have a grudge with Jun Mayan. Since she can't deal with Jun Mayan now, she can only rely on the strength of others. Thinking of this, Lu Ruoxuan escaped into the school of the Emperor's Star without hesitation. Chapter 1636. The only person she could find now was Diyu Dao. Lu Ruoxuan's current concealment ability was extremely good. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for the 5 great clans patriarchs to not notice her tracking. Therefore, she quickly sneaked into Diyu Dao's cave residence. At the moment, Diyu Dao was talking to a man in black. Master, there are more and more people searching the Alcade branch. Although it's hidden, it can't be hidden anymore. Diyu Dao's eyes were bloodshot, and his face was ferocious. I promised those bastards from the Alcade branch so many benefits to move out of that corner, but they didn't want to. Master, what should we do now? If this is exposed, Chief Ming and the others will not let it go. Diyu Dao gritted his teeth. Everyone is watching the Alcade branch. It's too late to stop them. Also, the Sword Master asked us to look after his lost. This can't be hidden for long. Damn it, do the heavens really want me dead? Right. He suddenly thought of something and bit his nails nervously. How's the experiment going? I've gotten so many test subjects from the school for you. Is there still no progress? The man in black looked troubled and scared. Master, we've found a way. But those test subjects are too weak. They can't even fuse before they explode. Useless. Useless. You're all useless. Diyu Dao kicked the man in black hard. Then his expression became more and more terrified. No, I can't do this. I can't die like this. I have to complete the experiment so that Master won't punish me for losing the sword. He might even let me go to the Purple Cloud realm. Haha. By then, what's the secret of the Alcade branch? What's the Starry School? Thinking of this, Diyu Dao immediately rushed to an oil lamp behind him. He grabbed the oil lamp and turned it left and right. Soon, the stone wall behind the house cracked and a tunnel appeared in front of him. Lu Ruoxuan waited for Diyu Dao and the man in black to enter the tunnel before jumping in through the window and following them. Diyu Dao and the black-robed man's speed was very fast. When Lu Ruoxuan entered the passage, the two of them had already disappeared. She could only feel her way forward, and soon she saw many stone rooms. There were several stone beds in each of the stone rooms, on which lay monsters that were beyond recognition. Some of these monsters had a face full of scales, some had a tongue as long as a lizard's, and some had 7 or 8 legs. All of them struggled and howled on the stone bed. Lu Ruoxuan was shocked by the scene in front of her, because the cries of these monsters and their expressions were too miserable and painful. It was as if they were experiencing the most miserable purgatory in the world. Suddenly, the scaly monster closest to her suddenly widened its eyes, its body twitching violently. Then, with a loud bang, his entire body exploded. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Even Lu Ruoxuan's body was splashed with several pieces of flesh. From the monster's broken body, a black ball of light rushed out and flew straight towards Lu Ruoxuan. Chapter 1637. However, after taking 2 steps, several men in black rushed out and pressed him to the ground. Du Dao strode out of one of the stone rooms and looked coldly at Lu Ruoxuan on the ground. "What are you doing? You didn't notice that someone broke in?" The men in black trembled and knelt on the ground. Du Dao sneered. "Forget it. Let's just take it as one more experiment subject. Put the flood dragon beast soul that just flew out into her body." "Yes, master." Hearing this, Lu Ruoxuan immediately thought of the monster that had just exploded and screamed in fear. No, 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 no. I don't want to become that kind of monster. I don't want to die. Dingjai, listen to me. I know where to find a carrier that can bear the flood dragon beast soul. Yes, yes. I know how to achieve the heavenly flood dragon's lifespan. Just at the moment of life and death, Lu Ruoxuan suddenly pulled out a memory from Mei Xian's memory. She immediately grasped at the life-saving straw. Du Dao's expression changed greatly. "How do you know about the heavenly flood dragon's lifespan?" In the cultivation continent, there was a kind of 9th-rank spirit beast called Changjiao. This kind of spirit beast had a very big characteristic, which was its longevity. All Changjiao had a lifespan that was 100 times longer than ordinary people. Even a high-level practitioner who had reached the crossing calamity stage could not compare with the Changjiao's lifespan. The so-called longevity of the flood dragon was to put the soul of the Changjiao into the body of a cultivator below the gold core stage. If this cultivator could bear the soul of the Changjiao and fuse with it, if the practitioner could bear the soul of the Changjiao and integrate with it, then the flesh and blood of the practitioner would become a panacea that could make him immortal. No matter how old the practitioner was, as long as he took the human flesh and blood that integrated with the Changjiao, he would be able to rejuvenate and live for at least 1,000 years. Most of the Xiozha and Azure Blue world did not know about these secrets, because the Changjiao was a 9th-rank spirit beast, powerful and rare. Even if there were people in the Azure Blue world who yearned for immortality, they did not have the ability to obtain the soul of the Changjiao. However, it was different in the Ziyun domain. There were many old monsters in the Ziyun domain who were at the leaving aperture stage or the crossing tribulation stage. They were slowly approaching the end of their lifespans, but their strength was unable to break through and ascend. Thus, for the sake of survival and greed, many people came up with all kinds of evil means to keep themselves young forever. Mei Xian used men as cultivation vessels to absorb their profound qi. That was one way. The Heavenly Flood Dragon Longevity was also a method, but the Heavenly Flood Dragon Longevity had very high requirements for the carrier of the Changjiao, Divine Soul. If the soul of the Changjiao was placed in the body of an ordinary person, the body would not be able to withstand 2 souls at all. In the end, the body would explode and die, or become a monster filled with killing intent. In Lu Ruoxuan's mind, the image of the young man she had met today appeared. Just as the young man approached, she sensed the instability of his divine soul and the uniqueness of his physical body. If there was anyone in this world who could withstand the Heavenly Flood Dragon's lifespan, it would definitely be his physical body. Ah! Lu Ruoxuan suddenly burst into laughter. Her face was twisted with indescribable joy. The heavens have indeed treated me well. I am the true favored child of the heavens. So the reason why I went through this experience today was to let me discover this point. Ha ha ha. Chapter 1638. What are you laughing at? Hurry up and tell me. Who told you about the heavenly longevity, Jiao? If you don't tell me the truth, don't blame me for being impolite. Lu Ruoxuan, doesn't care about his threat at all. She hooks up the corners of her lips and sneers. You don't need to know how I know. What if I tell you that I know where to find the best carrier for the heavenly longevity, Jiao? And I guarantee that as long as you catch this carrier, your experiment will not fail. What did you say? Du Dao suddenly widens his eyes. Quickly tell me, where is that carrier? Lu Ruoxuan touches the wound on her face that still hurts to the bone. She sneers, I can help you catch that carrier, but you have to give me enough male cultivators. Moreover, I want you to promise me that after it's done, you must make Jun Mayan and those bitches of Yaowang branch die without a burial ground. Xiao Bao has been following Mu Yin around for several days. Wherever she goes, he sticks to her. Mu Yin also puts almost all of her experiences on him. Every day, she takes him everywhere, buys him new clothes, hugs him to sleep, and plays the zither for him. The martial uncles of the Xiao Yao school can't wait to circle around him, sending him all the good things for him to choose from. Xiao Bao feels that this kind of life is simply too blissful, but gradually he still feels that something is missing. That night, after Mu Yin bathes Xiao Bao and puts on his pajamas for him, she sees Xiao Bao grabbing the hem of her clothes. After a long time of awkwardness, he softly says, Nyangqin, that person? Mu Yin, which one? Xiao Bao blushes, and his voice is like a mosquito. Dad, where's Dad? After Xiao Bao came back, I haven't seen Dad. At first, he was very happy to find that the lecher wasn't by his mother's side, because in this way, he would be able to dominate his mother. However, day after day, the lecher still hasn't appeared. Xiao Bao's heart starts to panic. Could it be that Dad doesn't want him in Yangqin anymore? No, it can't be. Otherwise, when Xiao Bao was so uncomfortable, he wouldn't have felt Dad's breath. Dad definitely won't abandon Yangqin and Xiao Bao. Mu Yin stares blankly. Meeting Xiao Bao's nervous and expectant eyes, she can't help but smile. Don't look at how Xiao Bao and Di Ming Ju usually don't get along. When the two of them meet, their noses are not noses, their eyes are not eyes. But in fact, Di Ming Ju has never turned his back on Xiao Bao. Even when Xiao Bao was in danger, he was able to save Xiao Bao across the distance between the two worlds. And Xiao Bao is even more so. Don't look at how he always quarrels with Di Ming Ju. In fact, he has long regarded Di Ming Ju as a father in his heart. Occasionally, she sees Xiao Bao looking at Di Ming Ju with eyes full of reverence and yearning. That was the sense of security and trust that only his father could give him. It was a feeling that no matter how hard she, as his mother, tried, she could not make up for. Mu Yin carries Xiao Bao in her arms and kisses him on the top of his head. Does Xiao Bao miss Daddy? Xiao Bao awkwardly stays silent for a while before he buries his little face in Mu Yan's arms and softly says, However, his little head quickly lifts up again, and he looks at Mu Yin with a bit of nervousness and expectation. Nyangqin, doesn't Daddy know that Xiao Bao is back? Why hasn't he come to see Xiao Bao? Does Daddy not like Xiao Bao anymore? Chapter 1639. He always knew that Di Ming Ju wasn't his biological father, and he also heard those people calling him a bastard. So, even if he appears strong and cold on the outside, he's actually afraid in his heart. He's afraid that Di Ming Ju will dislike him and not like him. Little fool. How could that be? Mu Yin smiles gently. Daddy likes Xiao Bao the most. If he knew that Xiao Bao was back, he would definitely rush back to see Xiao Bao. It's just that Daddy isn't on this continent right now, so he doesn't know that Xiao Bao has returned. Xiao Bao nods, not really understanding. Mu Yin suddenly remembers a certain someone saying that they would get married after finding Xiao Bao. She can't help but hesitate for a moment, then asks, Xiao Bao, do you like Daddy? Xiao Bao's eyes flash. He raises his chubby little hand, his thumb resting on his index finger, and whispers, a little like. After that, he feels that it's not enough, so he moves his thumb back, his voice even quieter, a little more than a little. When he says this, his delicate little face is cold, but his ears are red to the neck. Mu Yin is simply melted by her son's adorable appearance. She hugs him and kisses him several times. She asks again, then, does Xiao Bao want Daddy to become your real daddy? Xiao Bao blinks, his long eyelashes fluttering like little wings. Does Nyangqin want to marry Daddy? Mu Yin smiles gently and nods. In this way, Xiao Bao and Nyangqin and Daddy will become a real family. Does Xiao Bao like it? His big aqua eyes suddenly light up like stars in a summer night, shining brightly and projected into the tranquil, deep sea, dazzlingly beautiful. Xiao Bao's cold little face seems to be brimming with lively happiness in a flash. But very quickly, his two little eyebrows wrinkle. But does Nianqin like Daddy? If Nianqin likes, then Xiao Bao likes. Nianqin doesn't like it, Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao also doesn't like it. Mu Yan's breathing slightly stagnates, and her heart instantly feels sweet and sour, as if it's soaked in warm honey water. In this life, she has Xiao Bao, Di Mingju, and a family that dotes on her, protects her, and loves her. She really has no regrets in this life. Yes, Nianqin likes your daddy very, very much. Before the people from the Phoenix Sky Academy left Constellation, they made a trip to the Arcade branch. Xing Danqing grinned and said, Z is a student of our Phoenix Sky Academy after all, and his time as an exchange student has come to an end. It's time for him to return to the Phoenix Sky Academy with us. The people of the Arcade branch were all stunned. If Xing Danqing had not mentioned it, they would have forgotten that Su Zi was from the Phoenix Sky Academy. Su Zi frowned. I don't want to return to the Phoenix Sky Academy. I want to be with little Missy. I've decided. I want to transfer to Starry School. Z, don't mess around, Xing Danqing said with a straight face. I've already let you be willful and let you go to the Starry School as an exchange student. A few days ago, someone in your family asked me about your situation. If something happens to you after you transfer to Starry School, how am I going to explain it to your family? Suzy sneered. They asked about me? They should be eager for me to die. Xing Danqing was about to lose her temper, but Mu Yin stopped her. Can't you let Z stay in Starry School? Chapter 1640. Although he's sent here, if something were to happen to him in the azure blue world, neither Feng Tian nor Xing Chun would be able to bear the responsibility. Xing Danqing smiled. If Miss June really cares about Z, you can come to our Feng Tian Academy to visit him. Of course, it would be even better if the people from your Arcade branch could transfer to our Feng Tian Academy. This meant that there was no room for negotiation in this matter. Su Zi's usually gentle and innocent face was filled with anger. His eyes were icy cold. Big sister, didn't you say that you wouldn't abandon me? Are you going to go back on your words and give me away? Bang! An explosive pellet hit his head. Mu Yin said angrily, What do you mean give me away? Do you think you're a commodity? Su Zi rubbed his forehead and stared at her with red eyes. His expression was unusually stubborn. You just want to chase me away. From that pair of clear eyes, Mu Yin saw a strong sense of unease, loneliness, and fear. This child seemed to be used to being abandoned, but craved warmth, so his whole body was filled with insecure stubbornness. She smiled faintly. You really can't stay here. You have to return to Feng Tian Academy. Su Zi's face instantly twisted, his eyes even leaking a bit of hatred. However, Mu Yan's next words made him suddenly widen his eyes. But I will tell Dean Xing to let you stay for another 7 days. In these 7 days, I will cure your illness. Su Zi's lips trembled. He almost couldn't believe his ears. Big sister, what did you just say? Cure your illness. Isn't this what I promised you? Mu Yan's tone was indescribably calm, but it was like a sudden clap of thunder in Su Zi's heart. In fact, I have been preparing to cure your heart disease for the past few days, but it was delayed because of the Jasper Forest gathering. Su Zi looked at her anxiously and hopefully. Big sister, are you saying that my illness can really be cured? Mu Yin stared unblinkingly into his eyes, without the slightest bit of hesitation or evasion. When have I ever lied to you? I can also cultivate and fight like a normal person in the future? Yes. I won't die before I'm 25. Can I live a long, long life? Yes. Tears rolled down Su Zi's cheeks without warning. The sparkling tears made the mole at the corner of his eye even clearer and more dazzling. Su Zi suddenly reached out, wanting to pull Mu Yin into his arms. Little Missy, thank you. Thank you for giving me a new life. Thank you for never giving up on me and giving me new hope. However, Before Su Zi could touch Mu Yan's body, he was pushed away by a strong force. Xiao Bao hugs Mian tightly. He turns his head and coldly glares at him. You're not allowed to hug Nianqin. Only Xiao Bao and Daddy can hug. Mu Yan looked at her jealous baby and was not annoyed at all. Instead, she burst out laughing and bent down to pick up Xiao Bao. Ever since the conversation between mother and daughter that night, Xiao Bao has been talking about Di Mingju, his father, more and more. Even her most beloved mother was only willing to let her father hug her. She just doesn't know what happened to Di Mingju in the end. Why hasn't he appeared yet? Chapter 1641. Thinking that his illness would be cured soon, he was so happy that he could not contain himself. After hearing Mu Yan's explanation, Xing Danqing shook her head. Miss June, I don't know what kind of miracle doctor you know, but Zi's illness cannot be cured. Do you know how many famous doctors there are in the Purple Cloud realm? The Su clan has invited many, but none of them succeeded. Do you think that the doctors in the Azure Blue realm are better than those in the Purple Cloud realm? However, Su Zi insisted on staying in the All-Cade branch for another 7 days. Xing Danqing could not dissuade him and could only ask Lu Jinang to stay behind to take care of him. She also asked Lu Jinang to bring him back to the Fengtian Academy within 7 days. No one thought that something could happen in just 7 short days. Mu Yan had everything prepared to treat Su Zi, but she still lacked a few spirit herbs. These spirit herbs were not particularly rare or precious, but the amount needed was huge. She had to purchase them from many shops in various cities to prepare them. Mu Yan handed the task of purchasing the spirit herbs to Fatty Zheng and Jiang Xinyu. The two #1 fans of God Yi were so happy that they danced with joy after receiving the task. They had been busy collecting the spirit herbs for the past 2 days. Jiang Xinyu was busy putting the collected spirit herbs into a Qingquan bag before heading to the next city. She heard the clear voice of the youth behind her. Can I go with you to purchase the spirit herbs? Jiang Xinyu turned around and saw the handsome Su Zi. Her eyes brightened immediately. However, before she could speak, Fatty Zheng leaned over unkindly. What are you going to do? Don't you know that you are now under the protection of the Starry School and the Fengtian Academy? If we bring you out and something happens to you outside, won't we have to bear the consequences? Jiang Xinyu quickly elbowed him. We're just going to Tianluo City to purchase spirit herbs. What can happen? Junior brother Su has been locked up in the All-Cade branch for the past few days. Isn't he bored? What's wrong with bringing him out for a walk? Hearing this, Su Zi's already clear eyes brightened. His handsome face became even more attractive. In reality, he wanted to give little Missy a gift before he left. However, after rummaging through all his storage equipment, he felt that none of his belongings were worthy of little Missy. However, he was not familiar with the few towns near the Starry School, so he wanted to ask Jiang Xinyu and Zheng Xiaoping for help. As soon as Jiang Xinyu saw his handsome face revealing a cute smile, she held her chin and was infatuated with him. She agreed without any resistance. Zheng Xiaoping was so angry that he could only sulk at the side. In the afternoon, the weather is unusually sultry. Mu Yan comes out of the space after practicing her Shin musician skills. She is somewhat breathless. At this moment, she saw little Fatty Zheng angrily walk in with a bag of elixirs on his back. Little Fatty, what's wrong? When he saw Mu Yan, his eyes reddened. He stuttered and hesitated for a long time before Mu Yan understood what he meant. She couldn't help but burst out laughing. It turned out that Zheng Little Fatty, Jiang Xinyu, and Su Zi had gone to collect spiritual herbs. In the end, Jiang Xinyu was obsessed with Su Zi the entire time. She circled around him, completely ignoring Zheng Little Fatty. In a fit of anger, Zheng Little Fatty ran off on his own. Chapter 1642. Jiang Xinyu. That heartless woman. She only knows how to giggle when she sees Su Zi's face. Bah! What's the use of a good-looking man? Can he protect her? Can he give her a sense of security? The seven brilliances in the space heard this and immediately felt indignant. That's right. What's a pretty boy? He's not as good as a mighty and sturdy man. You women are so short-sighted. Mu Yin pressed her forehead, thinking, Ancestor, please don't join in the fun. Then she patted Zheng Xiaopeng's head, but couldn't help laughing. Who was the one who bullied Jiang Xinyu with the people from the outer courtyard? Who was the one who stood up for Lu Ruoxuan and stripped Jiang Xinyu in public? Now you actually have the nerve to say that she ignored you? Zheng Xiaopeng was stunned. His fat face suddenly flushed. At that time, I don't hate her at all. She wouldn't remember what happened back then and bear a grudge against me, right? Mu Yin looked at him stuttering, almost biting his tongue, and couldn't help but laugh out loud. It seemed that Zheng Xiaopeng had fallen in love with Jiang Xinyu. As for Jiang Xinyu, this girl actually only liked good-looking men. So when she first saw her martial uncle, she was infatuated. Later, when she saw her in men's clothes, she fell in love with him. Now, when it came to Su Zi, she also threw Zheng Xiaopeng to the back of her mind. But that was only pure appreciation of appearance, not true love. It's just that Jiang Xinyu and Zheng Xiaopeng didn't know it. Mu Yin looked at Zheng Xiaopeng up and down and said with a faint smile, You really want Jiang Xinyu to look at you? Even like you? Zheng Xiaopeng's face turned red, but he still nodded shyly. It's very simple. As long as you can get rid of this fat on your body, maybe Jiang Xinyu will look at you in a different light. Zheng Xiaopeng's facial features were actually quite good, but he was too fat. His whole body was covered with fat, so it covered his delicate features. If he could slim down, well, it would definitely be to Jiang Xinyu's liking. After teasing Zheng Xiaopeng, Mu Yin went to continue preparing for Su Zi's operation. However, at night, Su Zi and Jiang Xinyu didn't come back. This time, the entire Yaoguang branch, including Lu Jinheng, couldn't sit still. Everyone went out to search. Zheng Xiaopeng even mobilized the entire Starry School's outer house to search along the road from Tianluo City to Yaoguang branch. However, there was no trace of him. There's a strong, ominous premonition in Mayan's heart. This premonition reached its peak in the early hours of the next day. Meanwhile, the people from the outer domain finally found Jiang Xinyu in a secluded cave in the Danyang mountain range. The moment she sees Jiang Xinyu, Mayan feels as if her brain has exploded, almost making her unable to breathe. Xinu! Zheng Xiaopeng screamed as he lunged over, grabbing the ice-cold, naked body. His entire body trembled violently as tears rolled down his cheeks. Xinu! 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 How could this be? Who could it be? Who did this to you? He saw Jiang Xinyu lying naked in the muddy cave. There was not a single part of her body that was unharmed. His 10 fingers were all broken, and the place where the black eye was originally embedded was now empty, leaving only a bloody hole. Chapter 1643. However, when she opens her mouth, she can only see a mouth full of blood and a tongue that has been cut in half. Ah! She opens her mouth and makes a hoarse and mournful sound. Her body keeps convulsing, as if she wants to say something, but she can only make meaningless sounds. Mu Yin quickly pushes Zheng Little Fatty away and takes Jiang Xinyu from his arms. Healing talismans and elixirs are fed to her as if they cost nothing. However, as the talismans burn on Jiang Xinyu's body, the spiritual power completely collapses, unable to condense in her body. Mu Yan's hands begin to tremble uncontrollably, and her cold fingers almost can't hold Jiang Xinyu's pulse. Jiang Xinyu's dantian and meridians are destroyed. Therefore, her body can't even bear the spiritual power. Naturally, she can't accept talismans, elixirs, or even the Tian Mo Qin's treatment. Nyang Qin. Xiao Bao nervously grabs her sleeve, looking at her worriedly. The other people of the Xiao Yao school look at this scene with sorrow, but also worry as they look at Mu Yin and Zheng Little Fatty. Zheng Little Fatty's cold hand firmly grabs Mu Yan's hand, asking in a hoarse voice. You are the omnipotent great god Yi, aren't you? You can save her, can't you? Mu Yin closes her eyes, bending down to pick up Jiang Xinyu, saying hoarsely, I will save her. However, just as she is about to carry Jiang Xinyu back to Yao Guang Branch, Jiang Xinyu suddenly struggles violently. Then, her whole body rolls to the ground. Xinyu! Zheng Little Fatty cries and rushes over. Wanting to pick her up? Xinyu, let's go home. I'll carry you home. Okay? It's all right, let's go home together, okay? Jiang Xinyu desperately shakes her head, opening her mouth to say something, but she can only make hoarse ah sounds. Her face shows despair, as if her heart is dead. 2 lines of bloody tears fall down from her empty eye sockets. This scene makes everyone who sees it feel sad to the point of despair, so painful that they can't breathe. Jiang Xinyu makes ah sounds. Suddenly using her bloodied and powerless hands, she sticks a talisman on the ground and shakes it hard. Mu Yin suddenly thinks of something. She reaches out to grab her hand, gently not touching her fingers, and softly says, Are you looking for Yi Lianshin? Jiang Xinyu's face brightens, and she heavily nods. Mu Yin held back the urge to cry. She hugged her and said softly, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you the truth. I'm Yi Lianshin. Sorry to disappoint you. Jiang Xinyu leaned against his chest in a daze and shook her head lightly. Her face that was covered in blood actually revealed a loving smile. She seemed to be saying, I'm not disappointed at all. In my heart, Goddess Yi is just like you, omnipotent, beautiful, and powerful. Suddenly, her face changed and she let out a hurried ah sound. Her hands kept waving, as if she wanted to say something, but she couldn't. As she moved, the wounds on her body split open, and blood mixed with dirt seeped out. It was a ghastly sight. Zheng Xiaopeng's eyes were already swollen from crying. He hugged her tightly, wanting her to stop moving. Xinu, stop talking. Let us bring you home first. Let us bring you home first, okay? However, like crazy, Jiang pushes him and uses Jiang, and she, and uses with, of, she. Chapter 1644. Blood cuts through the skin on her hand, but she doesn't feel it. Save, Su, Z, E. It's Lu. Finally, her body no longer has any strength, and she softly falls down. Zheng Xiaopeng shouts, throwing himself at her and holding her in his arms, tears streaming down his face. I'm sorry, Xinyu. Why did I quarrel with you in the afternoon? If I had accompanied you, I could have always been by your side to protect you. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Why did I have to leave your side? Wah. Xinyu, my Xinyu. Mayan and the others bring the unconscious Jiang Xinyu back to the Yaoguang branch courtyard and carefully treat her wounds. However, even with Mayan's medical skills, she's still powerless in the face of such a scarred Jiang Xinyu. Zheng Xiaopeng stays by Jiang Xinyu's side, not willing to leave even a step. Every time he glances at Jiang Xinyu's wounds, he can't help but let out a low, stifled cry. Mayan and the others leave the room. Hearing the sorrowful cries coming from inside, their mood becomes indescribably gloomy. Luo Yu's eyes are red, gnashing her teeth. In the end, who is so deranged to actually use such a cruel method to torture a woman? Chu Moli suddenly says in a low voice. Jiang Xinyu wrote the word Lu. Junior sister, what did you think of? Mayan's eyes are as dark as water, surging with monstrous waves. Lu Ruoxuan. What? Lu Ruoxuan? Lung Yuma says in disbelief. Didn't you say that she was taken away by the Zhu family? How could the Zhu family allow her to come out alive? However, Chu Moli said slowly, in the 3 Academies tournament, that woman who wanted to frame little junior sister for no reason. I felt that her aura was somewhat familiar from the start. However, I didn't think that it was Lu Ruoxuan. But now, it seems that we have been negligent towards this woman. It's my fault. Mayan closes her eyes and hoarsely says, I always thought that she was nothing more than a jumping clown. It didn't matter even if I ignored her. It was my arrogance and carelessness that led to Sinyu's ending today. Nyang Qin. Xiaobao hugs her, raising his little head and looking at her worriedly. Meeting her son's concerned gaze, Mu Yan's heart that was filled with anger and killing intent slowly calms down. The people of the Xiao Yao sect quickly comforted her. Junior sister, this has nothing to do with you. Who would have thought that Lu Ruoxuan would have such heaven-defying luck? She fell to the bottom again and again, but she still managed to climb back up. Moreover, her methods are becoming more and more cruel. No, this is indeed Junior sister's mistake. Only Chu Moli didn't console Mayan. Instead, he looked at her coldly and said word by word, the world of cultivators is one where the weak are prey to the strong. It's cruel and cold. Even a lion beast knows to go all out to capture a rabbit. But little junior sister, you looked down on your opponent because she was weak, so you watched her grow stronger. And in the end, you caused irreparable damage. This in itself is your fault. Third senior brother. Luo you wanted to refute, but was stopped by Mu Yin. She bowed deeply towards Chu Moli and slowly said, Many thanks for third senior brother's teachings. I will firmly remember this lesson and will never repeat it again. Chu Moli smiled faintly. There was an indescribable admiration in his eyes as he looked at her. Chapter 1645. With such incredible talent, and an even more talented son, she was pursued by so many people. She should have been at the age of arrogance, but she was able to keep her composure. In time, the entire Xiojin continent, and even the Xiojin continent, would be stirred up by the rise of their little sister. Mu Yin suppressed the regret in her heart and frowned. It seems that Z has fallen into Lu Ruoxuan's hands, but I don't understand why Lu Ruoxuan captured him. Chu Moli knocked on the back of the chair. I'm more curious about how Lu Ruoxuan can come and go as she pleases in the Starry School's protective matrix. The cave that Jiang Xinyu was found in was within the inner school of the Alioth branch. Logically, even if Lu Ruoxuan could enter the outer school of the Starry School, she could not enter the inner school. This was because other than the Alcade branch, every inner school was protected by a matrix. Without the identity token of the school, one could not enter at all. Now that you mention it, Yin Ruhan suddenly said, I've been attending classes in the Alioth branch and Heavenly Jade branch recently, and heard some news. What news? It said that many students in the branches have gone missing. At first, they were only from the outer school, so it did not attract much attention. But in the past 2 days, even disciples from the Alioth branch and Heavenly Jade branch have gone missing. This includes the disciples who attended Teacher Mo's and youngest uncle's lessons. Luo Yu immediately said, Could these people's disappearances be related to Lu Ruoxuan? I heard that because of Lu Ruoxuan, many people did not attend Teacher Mo's and youngest uncle's lessons in the end. As a result, they flew into a rage and taught Lu Ruoxuan a lesson. Jiang Xinyu too. I'm afraid she has the deepest grudge with Lu Ruoxuan. Mu Yin frowned. But Lu Ruoxuan alone could not make so many people go missing. There must be someone helping her behind the scenes. But who could this person be? Before she could finish, her expression suddenly changed. She shouted in a low voice, Who is it? However, it was quiet there. There was no sound at all. Little sister, I don't feel anyone. Did you make a mistake? Mu Yin frowned and quickly walked to the location where she had sensed the unknown aura. Suddenly, she stopped and looked down. Beneath her feet was a crumpled piece of talisman paper. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't notice it at all. She bent down to pick up the talisman. On the back of the talisman, there were words written in cinnabar. School of the Emperor's Star, under XNU, there is someone you are looking for. Be careful of Du Dao. Mu Yin had just finished reading when the talisman paper in her hand ignited and disappeared without a trace. Who left this note? Was this person friend or foe? But now that Su Zi's life was on the line, there was no other way but to try to save him. Moreover, the last part where he told her to be careful of Di Yu Dao made her eyes even more serene. Lu Ruoxuan had a grudge against Jiang Xinyu and the missing people, so she wanted revenge. But she didn't have the ability to take revenge. But what if Di Yu Dao was the one behind Lu Ruoxuan? Then everything makes sense. Di Yu Dao was the chief of the Starry School, which meant that all the students here were under his control. Chapter 1646. However, with Di Yu Dao as the college chief, there would be no problem at all. First brother, Mu Yin suddenly turned around and made up her mind. Please invite Lu Jinhang over. In the main hall of the School of the Emperor's Star, College Chief Di Yu Dao, a few deputy college chiefs, and the college chiefs of the various branches were gathered together to discuss the final matters of the Qianglin gathering. Suddenly, the door of the hall was pushed open. Xing Danqing's face was full of anger as she strode in. Behind him were Lu Jinhang and the other members of the Phoenix Sky King team. Di Yu Dao frowned. Xing Danqing, what are you doing? Xing Danqing sneered and gritted his teeth. A student from the Phoenix Sky Academy went missing in your Starry School. Di Yu Dao, how are you going to explain this to me? What student? Di Yu Dao asked. Su Zi, an exchange student from the Phoenix Sky Academy to your Starry School. Hearing Su Zi's name, Di Yu Dao's pupils constricted. However, he immediately put on a confused expression. Didn't the exchange student from the Phoenix Sky Academy go to the Alcade branch? He's gone. You should ask the people from the Alcade branch. What's the point of asking me? You're the college chief of the Starry School. If not you, who should I ask? Xing Danqing was furious. Di Yu Dao, let me tell you, Su Zi's identity is not ordinary. If something really happens to him, the entire Starry School will be in deep trouble. Xing Danqing said angrily. Di Yu Dao's eyebrows twitched, but he quickly suppressed his uneasiness and pretended to be confused. College Chief Xing, could it be that Su Zi went out to train himself and didn't report to anyone? Lu Jinhang stepped forward and said calmly, reporting to College Chief Di. Someone saw junior brother Su return from Tianluo City and disappear after entering the Starry School's matrix. It's been a day and night now. I think that no matter how playful he is, he should be back after playing in the Starry School for so long. Moreover, we promised to bring him back to the Phoenix Sky Academy tomorrow. He won't break his promise for no reason. Di Yu Dao asked, then what do you want to do? Xing Danqing waved her hand and said, search. I want to flip all the branches of the Starry School upside down, especially the Alioth branch where Z disappeared. We must search it thoroughly. Di Yu Dao immediately sighed in relief when he heard that they wanted to search the various super courtyards. He agreed without any hesitation. Lu Jinhang smiled and said, the people from the Phoenix Sky Academy are not familiar with the Starry School. I would like to invite College Chief Zhai and the other college chiefs to accompany us. Is that possible? The entire Starry School was in chaos because of Su Zi's disappearance. Only the School of the Emperor's Star was silent. Under the tranquil moonlight, the people of the Xiaoyao School appeared on the Taiyi Square. Luo Yu held on to Xiao Bao's hand as she searched the Taiyi Plaza. She nagged, Xiao Bao, it's really dangerous here. You're still so young. How could you come here? Why don't 7th Martial Uncle send you back to Guang Branch Courtyard now? Xiao Bao glanced at him coldly and ignored him. Lung Yuma, who was at the side, also said, I don't know what Junior's sister is thinking. Xiao Bao said he wanted to follow, and she actually agreed. Moreover, she's missing now. If our baby Bei is injured, my 4th Martial Uncle's heart will ache. Chapter 1647. However, after searching for a while in the Taiyi Square, they couldn't find anything. Lung Yuma and the others also tried to destroy it by force. But the Taiyi Square wasn't an ordinary square building. It was a mustard seed space. The flying sword magic treasure slashed down towards the ground, but it could only leave a shallow mark, then disappeared without a trace. Is the person who left the message really reliable? This should be the Tai E square of the school of the Emperor Star, but there's clearly only the Tai E square. There's nothing. Just when everyone was at their wits' end, Xiao Bao's stomach suddenly moved. Then, a fluffy rabbit suddenly drilled out and landed on the ground, yawning. Bunny! Xiao Bao was overjoyed to see the fat rabbit wake up. He quickly bent down to pick it up and kiss it. Bunny, are you okay? The fat rabbit had been in a coma since that day in order to save Xiao Bao in the Fushi secret realm. It couldn't even reunite with Mu Yin. At this time, being held in the arms of its favorite little master, its short tail shook, and from time to time, it made a comfortable purring sound. The people of the Xiao Yao school revealed kind smiles when they saw this scene. The exquisite and beautiful little boy was hugging the soft and adorable rabbit. This scene was simply too beautiful. Their hearts were about to melt. But their precious martial nephew's spirit pet was too weak. It was actually a rabbit. How could such a spirit pet protect Xiao Bao? When they have time later, they must catch a few high-level spirit beasts for their precious martial nephew to choose from. The fat rabbit warmed in Xiao Bao's arms, then suddenly twisted its body and howled downwards, slurping its saliva. Whoa, little master, there's something delicious down there. Quickly let the bunny go down to eat. Although the fat rabbit couldn't speak, Xiao Bao immediately understood what he meant. There's something delicious down there, but I can't find an entrance. Suddenly, he said, Mother said that if there's no road, then open a road. Why didn't I think of that? Then, Xiao Bao spread out his small hand, and the Bixia sword appeared in his hand. The huge black sword looked particularly old and shabby under the moonlight. Furthermore, the Bixia sword could not be shrunk. When the sword stood up, it was about the same size as Xiao Bao. Now that it was in little Bao's hands, it was like a little doll hugging a huge toy. It was extremely uncoordinated. The martial uncles and martial uncles of the Xiao Yao sect felt sorry for him. This sword is too old and broken. It doesn't suit our precious nephew at all. That's right, that's right. How did Junior's sister become a mother? Why didn't she change Xiao Bao's sword? Tomorrow, I'll go buy a long sword for martial nephew. At the very least, it must be a 7th grade spiritual weapon forged by Master In Xiao. Only then will it be worthy of our little Bao. As they spoke, they saw Xiao Bao raise the sword in his hand and stab it into the ground. There was a piercing sound. The ground of the Tai Square, which the people of the Xiaoyao school had failed to cut, was pierced through. Xiao Bao waved his hand, and a square-shaped brick was cut out from the ground of the Tai Square. At the bottom was a pitch-black entrance. Everyone from the Xiaoyao sect. They were all in a mess. Was this really the fucking Tai Square that they had slashed for half a day without being able to damage? Chapter 1648. And he was using the broken sword that they had just despised. At this moment, they really wanted to find a piece of tofu to knock into. After exiting the cave, the obedient Xiao Bao remembered that his mother had to respect his teachers. He looked at Yun Ruhan and the others with sparkling blue eyes. Uncle Master, please go first. The Xiaoyao sect people who were invited first all entered the cave with complicated expressions. Far away in the Alioth school, Diu Dao, who was searching with Xing Danqing and Lu Jinhang, immediately sensed that Tai Square had been destroyed. He quickly wanted to leave, but was stopped by Lu Jinhang. Lu Jinhang smiled faintly. Chief Shai, why are you leaving now? We've only searched 3 out of the 7 schools. Diu Dao forced a smile. The school of the Emperor's Star has something to deal with. The other school chiefs will accompany you from now on. No. Xing Danqing stopped him and said coldly, if we find the person who hurt Su Zi in the Starry School, shouldn't you, the chief, stay here and give me an explanation? I'm telling you, don't think about leaving just like this. Diu Dao was very anxious, but he could not leave at all. He could only call Su Iluan over. Go to the school of the Emperor Star and take a look. If you see any troublemakers, capture them immediately. Su Iluan had been by Diu Dao's side for the past few years. Because he was humble and obedient, Diyu Dao trusted him a lot. Although Diyu Dao did not completely treat him as a confidant, he had already started to ask him to do many things. And every time, Su Yiluan had never disappointed him. Even if he was asked to kill or set fire, he would never object. Ever since Wei Tianming died, he had lost a capable helper. As a result, he was restricted in many things. It seemed like it was time to promote Su Yiluan. Hearing this, Su Yiluan immediately answered respectfully, "Yes, Chief." Just as he was about to turn and leave, Diyu Dao suddenly gritted his teeth and took out his token. "Especially my room. Help me look after it. If anyone dares to enter, kill them without mercy." A dark light flashed in the depths of Su Yiluan's eyes. Then he immediately took the token respectfully. The moment he turned around, a sinister, crazed, pained, and yearning expression appeared on his face. Xiao Bao and the others entered the Tai Square and found that there was a tunnel inside. However, a metal door appeared at the end of the tunnel. Yun Ruhan lightly touched it, and the iron door immediately lit up. Many talisman arrays appeared on it. Lung Yuma said impatiently, "Let me chop down this metal door." "No!" Yun Ruhan hurriedly stopped her. "This talisman array might have an alarm function. What if you cut it off and the people inside get wind of it? What if they get desperate and hurt Zi? If this doesn't work and that doesn't work, then what do you think we should do?" "If we wait any longer, Suzy will still be dead by the time we arrive." A beautiful little redhead suddenly popped out from behind Xiao Bao. It was an extremely beautiful little bird. She said in a weak voice, "Little big brother, can I try?" Of course, the people of the Xiaorao sect all knew Qiu, but they had always thought that it was just an ornamental spiritual pet raised by their junior sister. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.